Hey guys, my name is Victoria, and I am just going to talk about my trip of religion that I took about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. So, first, I'm going to talk about where I went, and then I'm going to talk about the midterm and how where I went affected the midterm and how what I reflected on during the process of the midterm, and then how it wraps into the final paper. So, what I chose to do is go to a Hindu temple in Philadelphia called Summerbin, Hindu temple in Philadelphia. They were celebrating the festival of Puja, and so I got to experience that. I found it interesting because afterwards I did some more research, and it turned out that in Jainism, they're more likely to celebrate the celebration. It's not as common in Hinduism, which I thought was kind of fascinating. And so it was really cool to be able to go and be a part of the festivities. It takes place every second Sunday of the month at 10 o'clock a.m. So first I'm going to talk about the appearance of the building, and then I'm going to talk about how I kind of felt being there, and then more so what the actual service was. So at first glance, the building was it was just kind of a simple tan building on the outside. It was nothing fancy at all, but when I stepped into the building, there was all this elaborate, beautiful shrines towards their deities that they worship. And so it was really quite beautiful. Um, and then when I first got in there, I think I kind of took the people off guard. They weren't unkind or anything, but I was obviously, I was just kind of like a little white girl there, for lack of better explanation. But they were so welcoming, and they were so kind, and they were very loving. And there was so much reverence towards their deities and towards the gods that they worship. That was really awesome. The service itself consisted of everyone wearing white robes. The men were on one side, the women were on the other side. It just focused on conception and birth, and that the soul, when it reaches climax, it achieves liberation from life and the death cycle. And it kind of just talked about life and just the cycle of life and how it just wraps into the entire universe. And just the joy that comes from the heavenly souls around was another big thing. They spoke a lot of it. I think it was in Sanskrit from what I did research afterwards. I wasn't sure exactly what they were speaking in, but I know it was not English because I was not able to understand most of it. But there was just so much joy and so much peace, and it was so beautiful. There was so much singing, which was so incredibly joyful as well, and such a pleasure to experience. So when I went to go write the midterm and reflecting on it, there was just two things that really struck me. I attend a Christian church, and I identify as a Christian. And so I feel like in the Christian church, we lose a lot of reverence towards the Lord, and we become way contemporary, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because the Lord takes us whoever we are, however we are. But at the same time, it was just very eye-opening to think, like maybe I need to be more respectful when worshiping the Lord and just give more reverence towards Him. Another thing was just the pure joy that came from the service was super striking, and it was so breathtaking. It was absolutely beautiful. So wrapping into my final paper, I really just want to focus on the difference between Christianity and the similarities of Christianity and Hinduism, and just kind of see like where they're different and where they're the same, because there was a lot of things that I found very striking in similarities, like through some of the prayers and like the translations of the prayers to Christian prayers, and then also just the multiple gods versus the one God. So that is it. And thank you so much for listening. And I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you so much. Have a great day, guys.